Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hello, everyone. My name is Laybella Ralston, and welcome back to another live class. Of course, before we get started, I'd like to give a shout out and give thanks to our amazing sponsor, the wonderful team over at Faber-Castell USA. Thank you so much for making these live classes happen for all of us because they love creativity just as much as we do. So, hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I am so glad that you are here. I am super excited to get started with this mixed media class. Are you ready? Because we are going to have lots of happy mess today. And I want to make sure that I can see all your chat and all your comments so that we can get all of this conversation started. Hello, Angie. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, how are you? Oh yeah, so the first part, Emma, was when we did the collages, and that's parts of some of those I'm going to use in this class today. Hey, Sarah, how are you? Hey, Jessica. Hello, everyone. Yes, Jessica's right. Please do use our chat section to say hello to one another, so because it's always more fun when we have like talking stories, I just asking questions and just saying hello. It's a community. This is not just my place. It is our safe space, where we can really just be ourselves and have lots of fun and just create, without any inhibitions, without expectations. We're just really having lots of fun. Okay, want to make sure I have everything. I think I have everything because I do have a lot in front of me in here, as you can see. I have my journal. The journal that I'm using today is by Dilutions. This is by Diane Reevely. And this is a mixed media journal. It's really meant for mixed media projects. So this is what I'm working on. And then I do have some art crayons. I do have my gelatos. Man, it's going to take a little bit, but I do have my art crayons. And the colors that I'll be working with today is I have a gold metallic champagne. So from different sets. Art crayons are available in many different sets. There is pastel set, there's brights, there's metallics, um, there's iridescent one and then iridescent two. So the colors that I'll be working with today is from different sets. I have metallics in here, so I have different um, finish as well. So I have a peach. I believe the peach is from the pastel. I have metallic mint from the metallic set. I have citrine, which is from the iridescent set. I'm not sure if the iridescent one or iridescent two. I really have to remember that. For some reason, that's the one I can't remember which one is which. I always get confused. Blame the old age. And then I have iced coffee in here, a really dark brown. And then I have aquamarine from iridescent. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be using all of these colors, right? But I just want to make sure that I have it. And then I have how do you pronounce it? Iced current, Currant. Oh my gosh. English is my second language. All right. So, but it's a beautiful kind of like scarlet red color. There's like a hint of like orange, reddish. It's gorgeous. All right. And so as you can see, maybe there's still green. There's not really green in here. I want it to be almost like holiday without the green. So like red and gold. And then I have Faber-Castell's Shake and Paint. These are acrylic markers, so they're going to be really opaque. These are what's going to be perfect to use on top of everything that we're gonna um, add in our layers because we're gonna do mixed media. That means we're gonna do a lot of stuff. There's gonna be a lot of step and a lot of stuff that we're gonna be stuffing in the journal. So acrylic markers, really, really good. If you don't have acrylic markers, an acrylic paint will work. A white, any color that you'd like to work on. But if you want to write on top of everything that we'll be applying on our page, maybe a white and a black, if you have any gold, any metallic ones, that will work as well. The PITT artist pens also are going to work, especially if you're going to use the big black tip. That one will work. And then I have a palette knife because remember I asked you last week to prepare some gesso today because we're going to be using some gesso, and I'll show you how you can mix your gesso. You can create your own paint by using the art crayons and some gesso. It's really good. If you have like an acrylic medium, you can use any acrylic medium like this. I have the matte medium. So of course this is not going to be good with the metallics because it's going to make it matte, right? But I mean, it's it's something that you can use as well. And then I have a matte gel because this is what I'll be working on to adhere all my collage sheets in here. So that's what I have. If you don't have a gesso, you can use like white acrylic paint, so something like that. And then a palette knife to mix in, grab like a copy paper so you can do your mixes. If you have an artist palette, that'll work as well, right? So currant, currant. So ice currant. Oh, thank you. Did I pronounce it correctly? I don't even know if pronounced it correctly, but yeah. Oh, thank you so much. It's a little bit messy, but I love it. It's really hard to keep up because every time I'm working on a project, then it gets messy again. But if I don't, it's gonna be, yeah, totally demolished. So I really have to just every once in a while just clean up and then put away projects and all that stuff. But thank you so much. You're so kind. Okay, and then I have some pencils as well. These are the Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils because these are oil based. So that definitely we can use this as an underneath, the first layer, because it's not going to blend and smudge in with any water base that we have, right? So that's one thing about mixed media is you have to understand what can you use underneath first layer, what's going to blend, what's not going to blend, okay? So I think I'm going to use the Payne's gray color. Really love the Payne's gray and the dark indigo as well. And these are just to make any type of mark making underneath for a first layer. That's perfect. And then if you don't have any pencil like that, you can use your PITT artist pen, like a fine point. If you want to create like fine details, then if you want to make like bold marks, then definitely go with the brush tip. All right. I think I'm good. And then heat tool. I have my heat gun. So that is what we're going to use because it's going to speed up our process in here. All right, I'm gonna clear things away. I try not to be discombobulated because it's going to be a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of mess. All right. So, first of all, let's open our journal. Remember when we created this in one of the classes? If you weren't present for the class, the replays of all the videos that we've, did in the past should be under the live tabs as well. So, but it's there. All right, collage sheets. These are what we've created last week. And I told you I really love the patterns in here. I'm just going to tear. So no, no, no. Careful here. Just trying to take all the patterns in that. And I really love these patterns here. This one, like that. And then I can use, the remaining pieces I have on the others projects that I'm going to work on. I'm going to do a full spread, so it means the left and the right of my page. I want to use this in my journal, so I'm not gonna use it today, but definitely gonna use that in the future. Okay, I am so messy too. So no, trust me, you're not the only one. I am messy also. So like what I said, I will be using my matte gel to adhere. Of course, feel free to use, any type of glue. If you have any type of glue, you can also use some glue stick, but for me, it's kind of like for my base, I like to use the matte gel anyways, then apply gesso on top of it. So I'm going to show you how I really work, you know, here when I'm working on my journals, and it's a whole lot of mess. All right, so we're going to start with the matte gel. This is from Liquitex, I think. And then I like to put in some matte gel underneath and also on top later on. You can also put it directly on your page. You know what? My desk is so small that I'm like, oh, I have stuff all over the place. I'm just gonna go put it on the side. And then I just put it on top as well. With mixed media, one thing that I love about it, I absolutely actually love about it, is that, when I'm doing mixed media, I feel so free. I feel so, as an artist, there's not a whole lot of thinking process. It's more of the doing, it's more just kind of like this sticking paper on my project. And without like that, I don't know, without that pressure of making something perfect, I think that's the best part. Because sometimes when I'm working, or most of the time when I'm working on any type of project, especially for clients, for other companies, that's when I have issues. All right, this is what I want you to see. These are oil pastel. What we used in this collage sheet right here is oil pastels, and it's smudging. So that's one thing that's really important. But I wanted to show you the texture that we can create from the oil pastels. But with me, because it's mixed media, I don't really mind if I have like smears of the blacks and all that. I really don't care because guess what? We're going to cover this up later anyway. So it's it's really, I don't care. So no problem with that one. But I just wanted to point that out because just in case, that's something that if you're going to use your collage sheets other than the mixed media, then you definitely have to think about the smudging and the smearing of all the oil pastels like that. To me, it adds more to the texture because look, it's a mess. Then I'm laying down colors in there already. I would like to know what type of medium do you love using in your journals or your mixed media scrapbook? It's like called so many things. I've heard people journal, some people call it their sketchbook. You can call it however, but I wonder what is your favorite medium, most favorite medium to use in your sketchbook and your journals? I guess it's hard to answer that because, it's really depending on what type of project you're working on. Because, for example, if I'm working on like an illustration and depending also on the theme of, what I'm working on, I feel like if it's a quick project, if I want to work on my sketchbook, I probably would go with markers. I think markers is my favorite just because it's quick and easy. Especially the pit pens. Pit pens are really nice because there's not a whole lot of drying time. I love the pit pens very much. And they don't bleed on the paper. So as you can see, I'm struggling a little bit where to put some of my pages. Not struggling. I don't like using that word. So I'm not really struggling. I'm just thinking, the thinking process. Don't stick yet. There. Oops. There you go. And I want a bit of that script. Oh, I wanted the dots also. So I'm just mixing. I love doing black um, patterns like this underneath because if I'm not using a collage, I will actually be using paint to add in these mini patterns right here. There you go. I like that. So I use like a black acrylic marker to add in like patterns, bold marks underneath for my first layer. But now that we have some collage sheets, which is perfect because that's what we worked on last week, so now I can just use and have many different types of patterns as well. So it's always very interesting to have different patterns like that. sometimes if you have like um pattern papers, some stationaries, definitely put that underneath. For I know lots of friends who does a lot of junk journaling. They're kind of like wrappers, packaging, any type like that, receipts. They put in underneath their first layer, underneath everything. That's the junk part. And then they start adding paints, and it's just the process is what's so freeing. I mean, for me personally. Okay, where's my lid? Lid, come here. There we go. This is what we have. As you can see, we have like different things happening in here. There's so many things going on, but trust me, this is this is when I do mixed media. This is really the perfect time to say, trust the process. It really, really is, because it's like that first layer. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, this is a mess. What is this? What is this mess? So, but hang in there, friends. All right. I'm gonna go dry this real quick. Ooh, I love all these collages that we've created. This is really good, but I'm missing parts on top, so I'm definitely going to add a bit more in there. Let's just dry everything. Do I use black all the time for my first layer? I'm gonna say 80% of the time, I would say yes. If I don't have like a specific theme in my head, like a color palette per se, um, then I would reach and grab some pattern papers, because that is what's going to help me decide the colors of the paint, the colors of the markers that I'm going to use. If I have like a certain pattern paper that I am in love with, or it's just that's what's speaking to me at the moment, then definitely that's what I'm going to use. And then from there on, then I can decide what type of medium I want to work with, what kind of the color palette that I want to work with. Then that's like a deciding factor for me. Okay, I think parts of it is dry, but this one is not yet. Parts here too. I love this heat tool because this one is from Ranger, because it's so quiet and it gets really hot also. But the most important part, quiet. Because I have like other heat gun that's like, oh gosh, so loud. So loud. Okay. I am going to use the dark indigo. It's like really dark blue, and the paint's gray as well. I'm just going to add a little bit of pattern. Oh, this is still wet. I can feel it. It's sticky. And I'm just going to do like spirals over here, just like that, just so we can cover that part up. And this one as well. So this is the Payne's Gray. It's this dark, cool gray. I really love this tone. And I'm just filling in some patterns in here and here as well. I'm just adding like really stripes, but a wavy line. Vertical wavy lines. I'm just filling in that space even more. Don't worry, because we're going to use our gesso and we're going to cover up parts of all of these. And this step right here is another step that I really love, because this is if I'm not doing a live class right now, I'll be so in the moment and I get so lost just creating little tiny marks and patterns right like this. It's like so, it- there's something about it that's like putting different marks on the paper without having to overthink anything at all. Ooh, that's still wet. See, you're going to know when it's wet because, especially if you're using pencil, because that's going to get in there. I mean, look at the patterns that I'm creating. Nothing, right? It's just marks, little tiny marks. That's why when students would tell me, I don't like mixed media because it's overwhelming. It's really hard. I mean, what? What's so hard? We were doing this when we were little. We're just kind of like pen to paper and we're just playing. This is what we were doing ever since we were little. We're just kind of like putting little tiny marks like this. But I do understand that comment though, because of all the different medium, all of that. It can get a little bit overwhelming, and fun at the same time. Because if you're going to allow the internet to enable you with many different types of medium, then you're really going to get overwhelmed with all the medium that you can use in here. Just going to go in with the dark indigo as well. Just going over some of the horizontal, almost creating like a plaid or checkered, like that. It's so pretty. This color, the dark indigo. It's one of my favorite colors from Faber-Castell. Beautiful. You know what? That's the perfect comment because it really, really is. Because when we do art, there's a whole lot of that inside noise, and it's our voice. It's our voice telling ourselves, "Oh my gosh, look at what you're doing." It's like, look at your type of art. It is the self, the inner that inner voice that sometimes is too harsh. So we just need to be allow ourselves to just play and have fun. That inner voice is sometimes not kind. So we have to choose that kind inner voice that is a cheerleader and not someone that would bring us down. Look at my sheet. Oh, look at this spread. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Okay, now that we have laid down our foundation, our first layer, I am going to go in with some gesso, and I'm going to use a white gesso this time. I have from Liquitex as well, and I'm just going to use my finger. I'm just going to drop in little bits here and there. You can use a palette knife if you don't like the feeling of, the stickiness in your finger. Definitely use a palette knife or a brush, but I like being messy and getting my fingers messy. Again, there's something about that, just allowing yourself having mess. And what we want to achieve with this one is we want to bring back some of the negative space. Remember, we started with, well, this is a cream paper, but think of it as kind of like a blank page, right? We don't want to really go back to the blank page, but we also want to create some negative space in here because we're going to introduce other colors later on and other patterns as well. And we're going to need parts of the white space so that we can add more. So use your palette knife if you don't want to get dirty. I have baby wipes here, constant, because so that I can clean my fingers in between the mess or the happy mess. I like to call it the happy mess. And all the textures that I'm adding right now, because I'm using my finger, that's going to show up in a little bit. So it's really important also the tool that you're going to use when you're applying your gesso. Think of it as almost like, it's not really a modeling paste because you're not adding some dimension in here, but you're adding texture, that's for sure. You're bringing texture back, right? Because you have the collage sheets and then now you have your like fingerprints in here, the marks that, you have applied, have created when you were spreading the gesso in here. So as you can see, there's like white, but it's not really white because you can still see the patterns from the collage sheets peeking through. I'm just going to add a little bit more here like that. I like that. For some of the areas that you want really covered, make sure to be generous with your gesso like that. To me, I want to cover that part up like that. So see, I'm going to do the same thing here. This time, I'm being more intentional of finding areas where I want to add a bit more stuff. So I want to add more colors in here later on. So I'm really laying down that gesso for a good primed surface, right? And also it's covering up more of the patterns. So bringing back that white space in there. Now, of course, after the gesso, and if you feel like, because the gesso will not be as opaque as an acrylic paint, so if you have like a white acrylic that you want to use so you can cover up more areas and more space, go ahead and grab some white acrylic grab acrylic paint. Also, if you don't want to ruin your other page, always put a copy paper like in between of your spread like that. And that's definitely going to help a lot because you can then just kind of like go like that and you don't have to worry about your table. You don't have to worry about the other page. There. That's my trick. Lisa, I'm so glad you're here. We are having so much fun with a happy, happy mess. We're so happy you're here. It doesn't matter if you're late. It's better late than never. Wednesdays are better when you're here. Okay, I feel like I've covered this part enough. Look at this. It's not really giving me that coverage that I'm looking for. So, but I don't want to really overwork this area as well. So I'm definitely might use a little bit of acrylic paint in there. But you know what? We'll see. So now parts of here I want covered over here and then over here as well, right? On my right, bottom right. So on the top middle part, I want a bit more of that negative space of the white space. So I'm really covering it up like that. So now I'm creating a flow in here. Now, I get this question a lot. How do you decide where you want more coverage than not? And I feel like there's really no better answer. It's more like very intuitive, you know? It's like this in life, we have this gut feeling, right? We have this, um, because it comes from the inside. It's like we don't even know where it comes from, but it's there. It's that inner knowledge. It's our higher self, it's our inner child talking to us that, I want here. And I that's what I want you to do is I want you to listen to yourself and say, you know what? I'm going to cover the middle part. Go cover the middle part. It doesn't have to be how I'm doing it because when we're doing mixed media, it's about your own journey because everything in here is a journey. You see, we're going through steps. So it's like a cycle. It's like a life that we're going through cycle. So every single layer. And I didn't even realize this, but when I was talking to my husband, maybe a month ago, because I was working on a spread, and he was like, he walked in here and he always asked, can I get you anything? So the one time it was like collage. And then the second time it was like covered in a different color. And then he walks in and then there's like a girl, a drawing, a painting. And he's like, wow, that went through a whole cycle. And that's exactly what it is. It's a whole cycle of something, of layers, of journey, of experience. And that's what mixed media is all about. It's about that the layer underneath, the peeking through, the parts of it that's shown, parts of it that are hidden. It's your story, it's your journey, it's your journal, you know? So enjoy it. So to answer that question, I don't think there's a right answer. It's more feel the flow. What is the flow for you? Because maybe the flow for me would be totally different than how you see it and how it feels for you. Does that make sense? So listen to yourself, do that intuitive and enjoy the process because it's all about that process. Yes. Exactly, exactly. And it comes with sometimes you don't, maybe you don't have the flow yet. Maybe sometimes you have to do what others are doing, right? So copy and then do it more and more and more and more. And the more you do it, like everything with life, you'll get it. You'll you'll have that natural flow in you. You'll have that natural vibe that, you know what? I really love it when I just cover the corners and then parts of the middle, and then everything else is just kind of like peeking through, or the middle only. I want to do the middle and add colors in the middle, and I'm good with that. And so be okay with that as well. So what she said is correct. Yes. So Emma said my journal page is pink and green for Wicked. Oh, I'm so excited. I am so excited. I'm not even kidding. I'm so excited. Oh gosh, you know what? I do understand about that biggest block because that is definitely me. And I have to constantly remind myself that would you talk to your kids this way? Would you talk to your friends this way? Would you talk to your students this way? And the answer is no. There's no way. No, never. Then why do you talk to yourself this way, right? Why do we do it to ourselves? Why are we so mean? That why are we critiquing ourselves so much? That inner critique, that inner that critical voice. Second language is driving me nuts today. Exactly, Lisa. It's all about the process, the cycle, the creative journey. Oh man, I love you guys. You guys are my people. I am so glad you're here. I am so happy that you're here. Okay, so we're just kind of like trying to speed up our process and we're drying it. And I can see it because parts of it are glossy. And once you see the page, mattifying, then it's definitely drying up. So try not to get too close to the paper because you don't want to burn it. That's the only thing. All right. I feel like it's good. I don't think I need white acrylic paint. I love it. I love the peeking through. I'm happy with this. Definitely happy with this. Okay. Now we are going to do a little bit of mixing because I want some of my colors mixed in with some gesso. Now, like what I said, we can use the matte medium like this. This is an acrylic medium, but we can definitely use it with, our art crayons or gelatos. And here, I'm going to use the peach color. I'll start with the lightest, the one that I have. Okay. And then where is our palette knife? Palette knife, come here. Here. I got this from TJ Maxx. It's like one of those trinkets, you can put your jewelries in, but I'm like, no, definitely gonna use it as my palette. Look at this. It works. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna use my palette knife and I'm going to take some of my art crayons right there. Thank you very much. And then we're gonna add in our matte medium. Is this even? Oh, there we go. Good one. Parts of that are just drying up, so okay. I may have added a little too much matte medium. And is one of those things again that the ratio would be start with small always, and then you're going to feel it. If you want more liquidy, then add more of your matte medium. If you want more opaque, more saturation, more vibrancy from your art crayons, then add more of your art crayons in here. If you want a little bit more translucent, then add more matte medium. So it just depends on what you would like. Me, I want um, a good mix where I can really spread it on the page. And then I also want some good opacity. So I feel like this is a good mix in here. Yeah, I like this. Look at that. Ooh. Definitely I'm going to use the same palette knife and I'm just going to add in my color. La-da-ba-ba-ba. And I'm just like, look at this. And then I'm going to spread it. Da-da-da. And then I'm going to add it on my top left. I want to lay down colors in and then the middle. Right? And that middle part on the left of the right side. That's kind of weird. There. Like that. Ah, I don't know if I like that I added that, but you know what? We're going to go with it. I feel like now that I'm adding the colors in here, I'm changing my mind, but we're going to figure it out a little bit. And I want to add more of this. And I'm just using the palette knife and there's no pressure. Okay, I don't need to push in. I'm just really allowing the bottom part, the flat part of the palette knife, get in there and apply the colors and just spread it without having to strain yourself or push in or all that. This is a really cute palette knife, by the way. This is so tiny. What's this from? Artex. Pretty sure I got that from Amazon. You can use whatever palette knife you have. You can also use like an old gift card, like a, old credit card like that, membership card. So you don't have to have a palette knife. I want to add a little bit here, just a little bit. And we're just on our second layer of color, guys. Not even kidding. This is going to go through life's journey. I'm going to clean my palette. Ta-da! Just like that. Paper towel is so handy. Super handy. Oh, you're going to love this water thing. I'm going to show you. I got it from TJ Maxx also. It has like a 2-well. That's a cool. I just dip my finger in there. I just wash it and then I'm just going to do with my paper towel. And do the same with my palette knife. Just go like that. Oh, good. Now we're going to go dry it. You can also use, what do you call this? I dropped some water and I'm just cleaning it up. My brain is not working. It's loading. It says, loading a brayer. My goodness, Lay. It takes like 2 minutes now for something to come into my head. I was like, what is that word? What is that word? What is that word? What is that word? The silly perimenopause. I was like, loading. It's like in big bold letters. Loading in my head. It's not funny, guys. You may be laughing, but Emma, Sarah, you guys are young. Oh, just wait till you get older. You're gonna know what I'm talking about. Oh, this is what Mommy Lay was talking about back then. You're gonna remember me someday. It's like perimenopause. What is perimenopause? It's the beginning of the craziness. This is such a pretty color. It's like this peach color, but it's also it's on the cooler side, right? So I like to mix my cool tones and my warm tones, and we're definitely going to add some warm tones in here later on. But it's such a pretty color because it's subtle and it's a nice first layer. It doesn't scare you, you know, for the especially with me, for my first color, I'm like, okay, I don't want to be shocked. I don't want to be putting too much like bright in there because I want to slowly build the intensity of the colors. And especially a good color also, if you can't decide, kind of like where to take it next, so it's kind of like this. I like this start. And then I can decide where I want to go from here. So blah blah blah. Okay. Yeah, so pretty. And sometimes the glare also will not give you that really the same look that I'm seeing sometimes, but this is pretty accurate. I feel like the camera is picking it up pretty good. And also, guys, when you try to, for example, you've applied gesso or any type of paint and you get your heat tool too close, it's going to start bubbling up. It's not a bad idea if you want to add texture, but you don't want to burn it as at the same time. So just be mindful like that because it gets really, really hot. And even the drying process, the drying time of this one, when I'm using the heat tool, it's like a workout. It's part of the cycle. It's part of the journey. Zaza. This is taking time. Okay, it's taking time. Yes. You know what? Perfect. Peach and apricot is perfect. Perfect description for that. Let's see. Let's get close so you guys can see. Look at that. Isn't it so pretty? It's so pretty. I love it. I love it so much. Okay. Now, just so you guys know, when I started this, I really had no idea what I'm going to do. And that's how I like to do my journaling anyway. So it's like, I kind of want to go with this color and maybe this color next. And that's how I'm doing it. I'm taking you on my journey also at the same time. Okay. So I want to add in, I'm going to try a little bit of this ice current over here, just like that. And I want to add water. I'm just going to dip my finger in the water. I just want to go splatter. So I'm just tapping it and it's making a lot of splatters all over my page. You can see it over here. See some of that. I'm going to get a little bit more and splatter again. And also parts of my finger is giving texture. It's giving it some texture. That's my flow today. So we're going to go in with that. Love that. I'm going to go in on the top right. Oh, first, color first. Right? I'm going to move my paper over here. Oops. Stuck 2 pages to go. Here we go. I'm just going to add water. You can do also the spray bottle if you have any. See the splatters? Yikes. I don't want to do any water drops yet. I just want to establish a second color in here. And also, as you can see, parts of it, this is where it's really opaque. And then I've added lots of water in here to just kind of like have a lighter colors, but also still spreading and introducing that color over there. Oh, that's really nice. I love it. I'm going to keep all that vibrancy over there. Love that. Love it. Now I'm going to do the left side. And you guessed it right. I'm going to apply it over here in the middle. Look at all that patterns. Sorry, the texture from the way we've applied the paint, the gesso, and the art crayons, the second layer. So this is our third layer. Adding more water. I'm really just tapping so you can see all of that splatters. You see that? Yes, it's all over my page and it's all over my desk also. The splatters. See all of my it's on my page too. Don't worry, guys. Like that. Oh, I love it. It's just there's something so healing about seeing the splatter and the mess and all that. It's good thing that it's easy to clean up because look, just I like to clean up in between because I don't have my silicone mat today. So I'm just gonna try and clean up as I am moving along. As you can see here, we still have like a pool of water. You can just do that, right? That will help it dry faster also. And then you've guessed it right. We're gonna go apply the colors on the top left, right? Yes, definitely. That's for sure. It's going to be a good it's gonna be a good one. Okay. And then we're gonna do the same thing in here. Ah, I love it. So it's like you went from like red to pink, right? Just because of the amount of water, the ratio of the of pigment to water, right? Because over here you get like pure pigments over here, so you get that really vibrant color of the ice current, and then over here turns into a lighter pink because you have more water and you blending it also at the same time. That's a really good color. I love it. Oh my gosh, so pretty. So pretty. Oh, sorry. Other way around. Ah, yes. Now you're making me hungry when we're talking about fruits like that. I'm ready for dinner. Not yet. You guys are with me. We're going to play. Love it. And you guessed it right. More drying. And that's why I said on Instagram, okay, guys, bring in your blow dryer. No, we're not going to do any beauty videos, but we're going to dry our pages, our spread, so that we can move on fast. Or else we'll be like sitting here and waiting. And I know you don't want to stay with me for like 3 hours. I mean, it'll be nice. We're just going to be chatting and having fun, but I'm not going to keep you that long. I want watermelon now too. But it's a really nice because you have this transition from the peach to now a red, and then you have that pink. Um, so it's really nice. This one's already dry, so I'm gonna stick here in the middle. And sometimes you can help it by just kind of like spreading some of the. You feel like there's pool of water, then just kind of like spread it, move it around. I love it. Now for your final layer, you can always use like a vellum paper, or use like it's not really is it Chinese paper or Japanese paper? Something like that. It's like this really, really light paper also, almost like a tissue paper. So it's really nice. And then you can write in there, you can add in your You can add in your journaling if you want to do any type of journaling, that's a perfect one to use as well. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in some yellow and gold. So the colors that I have here is citrine, and then the gold champagne from the metallic set. Now, iridescents, they have this sheen to it. It's not as much as the metallics, but there is, this sheen finish, which is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to grab just a little bit of water, and I am just going to spread the color, right? I'm not going to add so much water. We're just using the water to make our art crayons more blendable. And I want to get a nice intense color of this citrine and a little bit of water, just a little bit. I love that. I'm going to add also this side. If you have a blending brush, you can use your blending brush for this one. I'm just adding just a little bit of water so I can really keep that pure pigments in there. See how much intense this side is? Look at that. The glare sometimes is so annoying. Look at the difference from when it's like this to like that. Now you can really see the yellow in there. Let's put in my bottle, spray bottle. To set it higher, like that. There, now you can see. And I'm going to add more over here on the left side. You can smudge it dry without the, oops, the camera died. You don't need to see my face. I'm just going to turn it off. Um, you can smudge it dry, the gelato, so you don't even need to add too much water like that. So you can really see all of that. That's gorgeous. Pretty. And you guessed it right. I'm going to add some over here at the bottom. It really, Angie, I have lots of mixed media spread like this that I have gifted to friends, and they have it framed. That's really nice because the more you do something like this, the more you're going to build your own style. Does that make sense? It's like, you know what? I want to start with colors. You start with color, you can do your collages next, so it's not like one way is better than the other as long as you understand, the first one. If you really want to opaque colors to show up, then you want to use like maybe an acrylic paint, for your first layer so you can really have that intense color, the full vibrancy in there. So just understanding what goes underneath and what goes on top, which medium works better and all that. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? You can see parts of the pattern papers that we've created earlier. I know, it's so beautiful. We're just going to add this. And then I'm going to go add a little bit of water. And then you know what? You can use this for your scrapbooking spread. You can add in photos in here and then add, like what I said, like a vellum paper to put in your journaling, because sometimes it's really hard to write on top of this one, especially if you're using like regular pen, then that's you're definitely going to have issues with that. But if you're going to use it like an acrylic marker, then no, you won't. Because we can add title and here, like bold marks, bold titles later on, and we're not going to have any issues with that. But look at the color. Isn't it so pretty? I mean, that is so pretty. Okay, we're going to go just dry it real quick. And then we're going to add the gold champagne. And the gold champagne will also elevate the colors and the spread in just a little bit. You're going to see it. So to me, the most important part of this lesson is to not be afraid to use your medium differently. Because, if you look at the art crayons, you're going to see, oh, I can just, use it to create coloring, to create some backgrounds, to create landscape. I mean, explore and really play with your mediums. That's the only way you're going to figure out how you want to use the mediums that you already have in your stash. Don't let it sit there. I love all the textures from the paper. Look at this, all the crinkle. Look at that. That is just another story, right? And then parts of my finger that made marks when I was splattering, all the splatters in there. It's just absolutely beautiful. Okay, now let's add in our champagne. This time I want to use a blending brush so you can see it. I'm just going to clean it. I don't know what color I used with this last, but I think it's okay. Okay, and then I want to use it over in the middle, like this, just like that center part. And I'm going to do this so you can see. And I'm going to use a blending brush, and we're just going to blend it like that. Remember, I have that metallic coffee. Is that it? Like a darker brown. Definitely I'm going to use it. So it just intensified that color. I'm going to need more contrast than this in a little bit, but we're going to build it, slowly building things. Let's not rush it. I think that was my mistake back then when I was, first getting into the mixed media, is that I was rushing into things. I didn't realize that the more you simmer, right? The more you let it marinate, kind of like with my food. You let it sit there, let it marinate. And then while you're marinating and while you're simming through the process, you're going to have this intuitive feeling of things that you want to add. Parts of it that you want to reveal, parts of it that maybe you want to hide even more. So just sit with that. Look at this. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay. I want to add a little bit more. This is the iced coffee. I was right. Iced coffee is correct. Center. I'm going to go with the center. I'm going to go blend it. There, that is a contrast I'm looking for. Exactly. I'm going to go bring it to the side. Just like that. See how versatile the art crayons are? It's just so versatile. I mean, I know I keep saying this over and over again, but it really, really is. Look at that. Perfect. I'm going to add it again. It's the same parts where we've added the gold champagne, but we're needing just a little bit of this, right? Just a little bit. And it just gives this old vintage look to it now. But I'm going to show you why I have that metallic mint. Show you in a little bit. But again, I like what I said. We're going to let that sit there for a little bit. And we're not going to rush things. I'm going to add some to over here as well. That. I'm just bringing it up. Spreading it up. Going to add a little bit here also. Whatever it is that I have left on my brush. Just like that. You feel like, I feel like I need more contrast, then let's add a little bit more. Right? Let's just add. No problemo. Add a little bit here. Maybe there. And this is that intuitive feeling of, let's see, Hmm. I wasn't even planning on adding the darkest color in here, the iced coffee. But look at this. I allowed myself to feel, and this is what I'm feeling is like, I need that. Now, looking at it, I feel like I need to box things up. Do I need a little bit here? Maybe, whatever it is that I have in my brush. Just going to go bring it from the outer corner and bringing it in. And the blending brush is, pressure I'm giving it is almost like light to medium, like that. And also doing some circular motion and side to side and play with it like that. Oh, goody. Goody, goody. Happy with that. Okay, now I'm going to use the metallic mint. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to add it there. And I'm going to use a blending brush for this as well. Adding a little bit there. We'll start with the left side, but I'm using a different blending brush, so it's not dark. I'm going to go in and just blend. Circular motion, just blending. I love that touch of metallic mint. This time I'm really adding some pressure to this because I want to push the products and then blend it. I'm pushing it in and then blending it, right? And it gives this old patina look to it. I just love, love, love the metallic mint when it comes to this part. I mean, I love painting with it, creating landscapes, ocean, but with mixed media, I have to have the metallic mint to add this old patina look to it. Ah, gorgeous. And it brings the cool tone. It's a mix of that warm tone and the cool tone. It gives you this balanced feel. I'm just really pushing this, pushing it. And then with the mix of that yellow citrine, it gives you this almost like vintagey green tone, right? So it's a combination of both. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. What? Middle part. Gonna go hold it. We're just gonna go blend, pushing it in, and smudging it at the same time. So I can really spread this color without leaving any marks underneath. So we just really want to blend it. Really want to blend that. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Add in, repeat the same process. Push and blend. Right. Over here as well. Let's get a little bit of that, even in the middle. Because we have that stark white. I don't really want to have that stark white. So I'm just going to go apply whatever product I have left in my brush. Just to cover it up. This, guys. I mean, look at the spread. You can frame it. You can put in like a photo in there and use it again like a scrapbooking background. You can do a hand lettering and then fuzzy cut it so you have like a big bold title in here, right? I'm just adding that. Then whatever product I have, I'm just going to leave it right there. Leave it right there. Okay. And then now we can slowly build our patterns, the final part. If you want to, like what I said, where's our acrylic paints? You can add a little bit more patterns in here. Use your shake and paint markers. If you want to. I love using the gold and the white. Just to add some more interest in here. Let's do that. I'm going to use the white one and I'm just going to add some dots, right? Over here in my center, in my middle part. So I can do this so you can see the See the color. Look how beautiful this is, guys. And I'm just gonna go push it so I can get all the products in. Oh, I can't remember where I used this last. Sometimes I ruin my nibs. It's not being so careful with it. I'm gonna do this. Clean it. There. Always shake it so you can, have that full intensity of the acrylic. There you go. I'm just adding. I'm picking up parts of the gelatos. I should have dried it so that it won't move, but it's okay. So I'm just making marks in here, guys. Just making marks. Nothing special. There. I'm going to do the same thing, repeat the same thing. Clean my tip. There. Just literally making marks. But beautiful spread. This turned out so well. You guys need to let me know if you enjoy this type of class, and we'll definitely work on this even more for next year. It would be so helpful if you guys can, send me an email, message me on social media and say, hey, Lay, I really enjoyed when we created this or that, because it's going to help me with the thinking process. Sometimes, guys, that's the most tedious process is the thinking of the class. Because, I want to showcase, of course, Faber-Castell's products, our sponsor, and at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm creating classes that you guys really enjoying and really something that you've been wanting to learn or want to learn more about. So please do let me know. All right. You guys know where to find me. I'm all over social media. Send me a message, send me a quick DM. So it's so subtle. Using the white marker is we added a little bit more, but really it's just, a little bit. It's not adding too much. It's just blending in so beautifully. I'm going to use the gold one this time. I'm going to make bigger marks. And I'm keeping to the side. See if you guys can see that. There you go. You guys can see that much better. I'm going to add just a little bit in here as well. Again, feel. Don't overthink, just feel and do. I love that. I'm not overthinking and I'm just kind of like doing what feels right in here. Just adding like dots. Just adds that texture. Yes, it's overlapping to the white. I'm going to do the same thing here. But this is it, you guys. This is our class for today. I hope that this was, if this is your first time or if you're new to mixed media, I hope that this class was a perfect introduction to, you know, inspire you to use your art crayons or use your mediums, art mediums, art supplies in maybe a different way than how you've always been using it. So I really, really enjoyed this. I had so much fun from the beginning until the end. I truly had a wonderful time putting things together, especially because I had no final outcome, in my head when we was first getting started. But I really do love the spread. I love the colors. I love all the techniques that we have applied today. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. In behalf of Faber-Castell USA, I thank you. My name is Bella Ralston. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you enjoy the class. If you have any more questions that I may have not answered, you know where to find me on social media. If you enjoy classes like this, if you need, um, digital versions of these, I think I'm gonna go scan this, turn it into a wallpaper, and send it to all my Patreons. But you can check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Lay Ralston. I appreciate all of you. If you're watching this on a replay, please join us next week, same time, 5 o'clock Central Time. But as always, I'll see you next time. Stay creative and stay happy. See you again, guys. Bye.